All right, welcome out, welcome out, welcome out. It's the first edition of the Lions Den Live. My name is Jason Saw, president and founder of Roar Sports. I got a special guest with us here tonight. It's going to be on here in just a moment, trying some new things out. So if you're watching this, you are officially a viewing guinea pig as we're trying to do some new things with the software and so forth, and bring some new things to Roar Sports to life, and just to make us a little better than the average rec league around here. We're halfway through the season. This is week 3, and tonight I have Ed Clark, director for Roar South, that's going to be with us, joining us. We're going to be talking about the season so far, and we'll dive into the rankings, the current midseason rankings for Roar South and Roar Central, and see what we can do. But a couple things here, just some housekeeping. We want to thank all the families and friends for all that you've done so far. The volunteering, everything has been great, and I think Ed will collaborate or confirm this when he comes on here in a moment. That this has probably been one of the best seasons so far. Everything seems to be running smoothly. Kids seem to be having a good time. Seems to be a good level of competition in games. Most games have been pretty close. Had a couple overtimes. Week 1, I think Ed may even reminisce about that for a moment when we get to there. The other thing I wanted to just put out real quick is that we do have sponsors that have sponsored teams. And with those teams come their logos, get on their uniforms. And we used to put them on the jerseys. They kind of get lost there on the sleeve. And so this year we opted to do two things. We opted to include free of charge to you, the parent, shorts as part of the uniform. And then additionally, a lot of the uniform shorts have sponsors' logos on them. And so we really need to make sure the kids are wearing those shorts specifically, especially the ones with the sponsors' logos on, just so we can be good stewards and honor our agreement with our sponsors. So with that said, that's about all the housekeeping. Everything's been going pretty slick. We do want to remind parents that you are expected to volunteer from each team to work the scores table and help out with the sticks. That helps us keep registration costs down. As you guys know, we never charge a gate to our regular season games. We never ask you to do fundraisers and things like that. However, we do need some help on the back end. So with that said, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this and jump over to our special guest, Director Ed Clark from Roar South. How are you tonight, Ed?
Doing amazing, as always. You try to
Yeah.
stay optimistic in life and spread joy and optimism is contagious. So if you're
Yeah.
happy, then you're brightening the room a little bit.
Are you that joyful and happy when you're on duty with some of those folks?
I try to be. Try to be. Yeah.
Well, Ed, welcome out here. This is the first time we've had audio and video going virtually. Ed's broadcasting from Roar Sports South headquarters in the metropolitan area of Weston, West Virginia. Actually, closer to Jane Lou, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer to Jane
Okay.
Lou, but
All
we're
right.
just
All
right
right.
in the middle. Yep.
So, Ed, give me a recap. Tell me about South. How we doing down there? I've been down there for one game. We got to play AMAC last week. And so looks like everything's going pretty well. Lots of activity down there. Tell us about the field setup, how many fields we got going on down there, and what you're
Yes.
seeing.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we couldn't be more grateful. The county commission of Lewis County has completely backed us 110%. Ike Morris has let us use his field, which has brought a bunch of possibilities to Roar Sports South down there. Our new field setup is amazing. If you haven't got to play on it, it's nice,
Tell
it's
us about
level, it's
tell us about
free.
that. Tell us about the two field setup. This is the first season, right? We've run two fields down there at Roar South.
Yes, we have the field set up. We call it the upper field. It's set up strictly for 10U and 12U, and then we have the lower field, which is where all the games were played last season, and that's strictly set up for 8U and 6U. And it makes it really nice to have a devoted field for the younger age groups.
Yeah, awesome. So what? And we've had some special guests providing some concessions this past week.
We did. Community Church. They've been selling hot dogs and some chips and some drinks. Obviously, to support their youth groups, which is it's a win-win situation. People, if they're handing out flyers for their church, they're listening to our message and stuff like that. So it's it's a win for the community. It's a win for Warsport South. And it's good. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing it down there. Really had the football atmosphere. You had the smell of the food in the air. We had the games going on both fields, and they're kind of sandwiched in between. So it was a pretty neat environment down there. I was there last week, and so kind of excited to see how that continues to work out for us. Well, Ed, without further ado, I know we're on a little late tonight, but I had some technical difficulties in working through those. Let's go ahead and hop into the rankings here for Roar South. And let me just, I might take a second, might lose your audio here for a second, Ed, but I'm going to hop over and pop this on here. 1 second. We've got the Chargers and the Giants. Tell us about those teams going on right now with the Wyman, I think, is coaching the Chargers, right? Namack on the Giants.
Yes, he is. Yep, very experienced coaches on both ends. Wyman, this is his third season for Fort South. I believe he had his son was in Roarsport Central, started off down there, and then of course he came to Roarsport South as a coach. And then you have Andrew McDonald, and that's his third season as a coach in that division. So two experienced coaches on both ends of it, both really competitive, and they have really good teams in 6U. They have some really fast running backs. Andrew, his son, is extremely fast running back, and then the Chargers have Tripp, and Tripp's a speedster. You got to watch him.
Yeah. So I was kind of looking through the records there. It looks like AMAC. So he's lost to the Giants, lost to the Chargers, and then of course we mix the teams through our leagues. Who else did he lose to up here? Do you know?
Not off the top of my hand. I'd have to look at the weeks.
Might have been the Eagles, maybe. Either the Eagles or the Dolphins. That's right. It was the Dolphins. I remember now.
Dolphins.
It was
yes,
the Dolphins.
it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you think by the end of the season he's going to have something for Coach Grant, or do you think Coach Grant's going to run away with this in that 6U division down there?
You can't count Andrew out, not for anything. So he's always scheming. Sure. He's always got videos watching. He's always planning something. So can't count him out.
For sure. I'm going to try something, and if I can make this work, it's going to make this whole video go a lot better here. Let me try something here. Let me do this. All right. Do I still got you there, Ed?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. I got the audio still. The audio cut out on my headphones, so I was waiting for that text to come. Somebody say, "Hey, your mic's not working." So, Ed, while I got you on the phone, I'm assuming you can see everything we're going here. We're going to go ahead and turn on the 8U division. What can you tell us about the Steelers, Seahawks, and Chargers?
Yeah, so Steelers, they have a great team going for them, and they have their head coach is Chad Taylor. He's been an Andrew McDonald's assistant for the past few seasons. He's finally getting his own chance to take a team of his own, and he's taking them. He's winning with that team. He's doing the right things and everything he should be doing. He's a very smart individual and really good with the kids too. So he's taking the Steelers and getting some wins. And of course, you have Grant Wyman with the Seahawks, and he's got his son who is a terror on the field for everybody else. But he's very, very good. And then you got our Chargers here, and that's a new coach. It's Kyle Crady. He's a great coach. He usually coaches every sport in Lewis County, from baseball, football, wrestling. So he's good with the kids, and he knows how to relay a message to them. So
nice. Well, let's take a look and take a peek here and see what's going on brewing up there in the 10U. This is the first season. We've had 4 teams in the 10U division there in our new league down there at Roar South. Take us down through those rankings. I think you might know somebody that's running the ship there for the Buccaneers, don't you?
I do. Yes, it's our very first female coach in Roar South. It's my wife, Allie Clark. She's taking us Buccaneers and getting them wins. And now all those kids get to understand what I feel every day, being managed by her.
So, folks, if you drive by the Clark household and you see Ed running laps around the house, he's not doing PT. He's in trouble with Coach Clark, the other Coach Clark.
That's
So,
right.
Ed,
She leads me to success, and she's leading them to success.
Yeah, tell us about. She's in first place right now, in that 10U division. But I'm looking at the standings here down on my other screen here, and she's tied. Her and Coach Nate West, who's a good coach in his own right, tied at 2-1.
Yes.
Both have 2-1. Tell us why. Tell us about that first win that your bride kind of pulled off over Nate. What happened that first game?
That was tight. It went to overtime, and so she went for 1 in overtime. She got the extra point, and it was up to Nate West to get go for 2. And she was panicked. She was like, if they get a touchdown here, we lose the game. So it was pretty crazy, but she actually had really good defense, and defense were able to swat that ball down just the last second of overtime.
There you go. So she was single overtime or double overtime?
Just single overtime.
Single overtime. Okay. All right. And then down the list there, we know Nate West is a great coach. I refereed his game against the Packers last week, and both teams looked really good. And I don't think enough could be said for those that are in South or in Central, but for both audiences watching tonight. It's always hard when you start a league from the get-go. And when we started Roar Sports started back in 2021, we had 65 kids, I think, in the whole league. And it was difficult, and we saw the growing pains and everything. And but to see a new birth kind of happen again down in South, and to watch where Ed and the group has brought everybody from. Ed, you guys, in just this is the 3rd season, right? It's 3rd season?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, 3rd season. And the kids, the level of development has just elevated so fast. I think we were joking about it. I think it was you and I talking about this past weekend about how the first season there was like tackles and crazy stuff going on, and the kids getting used to it. But I think especially this group down in the 6U, seeing some of the talent so fast in the 6U, I think once they get through a couple more seasons, especially as they come up. But the 10U as well looks like a whole different division right now. Ed, tell me, because we've seen it in the 10U with 4 teams now, tell me what you think. Where do a lot of these other kids come from? We know flag football will make you better in other sports because of the reaction time, situational awareness, and those kind of things, and the fast pace of the game. But what can you tell us about your players down there in South? Where are they coming from? The new ones that's growing our league down there.
Yeah, so a lot of people are coming, from other sports, like you said, soccer, and then we have from other communities too, Buchanan, and we have some from Belington. We have a couple down from Flatwood area, and they're coming up. They're hearing this thing that we're doing, and they're coming and exploring and loving and staying with the game. So we're pulling from all that, those areas, those communities, and of course, when they go back, they tell their friends, and then those bring their friends up to say, hey, we just had a great time playing flag football. Come join.
Yeah.
So we're pulling from everywhere.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. All right, well, let's take a peek in this last division down there in South. Let's go ahead and take a peek and see what's going on there in the 12U division. Looks like AMAC and his Cowboys are in first place. Chargers second place. And Ed, what's going on? Let's start at the bottom and work our way backwards. What is going on with the Patriots? Come on, man.
We're figuring it out. That's right. They won't let us deflate the balls. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, you can deflate it.
But no,
they play in a few weeks.
That's right. That's right. No, we're having some growing pains, but we're slowly working our way to moving everything together and everybody working together. But
maybe the Cinderella story when the playoffs come.
It will be, yeah. All the Patriots. I've got a great group of kids. I couldn't have drafted better. These kids are just, their character is far beyond. They're setting the standard for not being the normal. So.
Yeah, that's going. I'm excited to play you guys here in a couple weeks. This next week, our Texans got to come down and hopefully take care of business with the Chargers. What can you tell me about the Chargers down there?
Man, those Chargers are tough. You got Grant Wallman. He's assistant coaching Brian Reed. Brian Reed's been in it for a few seasons now. This will be his. Yeah, he wasn't in a coaching role the first season, but he was the second season, and he learned under Grant Wyman, and he's taking these Chargers and taking them to wins. And then he's drafting really good. He's got a couple of dynamic players on his Chargers team who you can't count them out. And they've got one kid that he just looks like a tornado when he runs down the sideline. So
he's hard
to grab a hold of. Jacoby.
Okay, so I'm making notes here so I know what to do tomorrow night practice to get ready for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Roy, and then of course you can't forget their top of the food chain again, Amac. It's a familiar spot for him. 2-1.
It is.
What do you think about Amac and the Cowboys this season?
Man, his son Christian gets better and better every season. He's a kid that you look at and that he trains off season. He does other sports, and him and a couple other kids that he's got, they're really dynamic players.
Sure. Yeah, they were.
And he expects excellence. Yeah.
Yeah, they were a handful last week. We played them. We had a couple plays where I think our kids, we got our starting quarterback back last week, and he was kind of rusty from being out for 2 weeks of practices he missed. But not taking anything away, AMAC Cowboys got a great team down there. It was fun to play, and it would be fun if we see them again down the road. Speaking of which, before I let you go, and if you want to hang around for our central stuff, we can too. I don't have anybody else lined up to call tonight, but you and I were talking, Ed, and I think we're looking at, if memory serves me right, it's going to be June 7th. It's June 6th.
Yes.
Is it June 6th? Is that the second Saturday after the Super Bowl? June 6th?
Yes.
Yeah, June 6th. So if you're watching home, June 6th, that is going to be our first ever Roar Sports spring end of season barbecue football extravaganza. We'll find a shorter name than that, but we want to use the Lewis County Park down there that we have plenty of space. They've got a wonderful pool. Ed, tell us about what they got down there at Lewis County Park if I'm coming down there to spend a day with my family.
Yeah, so this week, actually, they're opening up Extreme Adventures. It's a zip line course, mini golf course. It is phenomenal. If you haven't been to Lewis County yet, at least come down and try the zip line course.
So we got zip line, we got putt-putt, and what else?
Yep. And you got their pool, though, with the slides. They've got a bunch of slides and diving board at the pool. They've got a splash pad at the pool, which is really nice. They've got a state-of-the-art playground. And then on top of the football fields that we've got there, so
right. And so we're working on that right now, trying to figure out the arrangements there. And then for football, because you can't have a cookout without football.
That's right.
Ed and I have been talking, and there's some beef going on between South and Central, some of the teams, and so we think maybe we're going to get these bragging rights settled out and go back to our old format when we first started. Is what we called our Country Roads Bowl. And basically we just pitted the Super Bowl winners from each team, from each division, from each conference against one another. So like the 6U Super Bowl winner from South will play the 6U Super Bowl winner from Central and so forth through all the divisions. So is that the format we're going to use for this season?
I believe so. I think that's what we were inching away towards.
Yeah.
Inching towards we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it was. We liked, and for full transparency, I like the all-star format, but with the stats and some of the difficulties we have tracking some of that stuff, sometimes it can get kind of hard. And this way, it's just a quick clean. But we still can do like the individual competitions, right? That anybody can jump into that is in the league. Like maybe the furthest throw, fastest time, accuracy, something like that. So we can do some of those kind of like those the old ESPN X games, like they used to call them down there. So we can do some of that stuff. Let's see, what time is it? It's 9:20. Ed, you feel like sticking around for the? Because I know you've seen some of the teams. You feel like sticking around for some of the Central reveal
I
rankings?
wish I could. I wish I could. I got a jet.
Got a jet. Okay,
I'm
okay.
getting old and
Ha. Okay. All right. Well, Ed, I appreciate you coming on, and it's been a good time. I'm sure we'll do it again. Now that we've got the software working and we know what we can do, I think it's going to be a good time. So, Ed, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
thank you guys. See
All
ya.
right, we'll see you. All right. Well, you heard it right from Mr. Ed. And those of you older on the channel here will get a reference there. But anyhow, let's go ahead and jump into the Roar Central standings and rankings. And Roar Central standing and rankings, we're looking at, first off, the 6U division. The Dolphins and the Seahawks, the Eagles and Steelers. Steelers with a first-time head coach, Coach Matt White here, is doing a great job. Great guy, cares a lot about the kids, and he's getting it. Eagles, same way. Eagles are just getting better every game. Got to see a couple of their games. Got to referee a couple of their games. Man, oh man, what a game we had last week. Kind of to settle the first and second place rankings. The Dolphins and the Seahawks went at it. And if you've been around Roar Sports for any amount of time, the name Jared Rakes is a household name when it comes to 6U and 8U and Super Bowl rings and so forth. He's always there in the mix, whether he's winning it or he's runner-up. He's always in the mix, and this season's no difference. However, newcomer who won the Super Bowl last year, Coach Dan Karen with the Cowboys, has come along, and man, oh man, has he done some great things with the Dolphins team, and it's just it's looking really good for them. So the Dolphins and the Seahawks may see themselves again, but I wouldn't count on any other teams just yet because, like I said, we're only halfway through the season, and these things can quickly change, especially in those younger divisions, and so. We'll take a look there and see what's happening over there in the 8U division right now. Our standings in the 8U division. This is another good setup. If you're not doing anything Friday night, I encourage you to come out Friday night. This Friday, like I said, Rakes is always there, and he's in the mix of it again in the 8U. Coach Justin Brewer, pastor of Lighthouse Baptist Church here in Salem, who does our halftime talks for us a lot, does a great job. He's always had a good team, and they always they get right there to the edge. And then this year, man, it may just be the year. Don't know yet, but we're gonna find out. We'll get a good preview of what might happen there this Friday night, as the Panthers and the Eagles square off. It is so odd calling them the Eagles because Coach Rakes is a diehard Denver Broncos fan. He has never been any team in any division but the Broncos. But due to the popularity of the Broncos finishing the way they did and almost making it to the Super Bowl, which they should have been there if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, the inventory was down when we went to order uniforms, and so they had to change, and now he's the Eagles. But should be an interesting thing. And then looking back at the rest of the division there, again the Dolphins right there. Dan Karen. I'm sorry. Let me revert back. It was Coach Radcliffe in the 6U division. Sorry about that, Coach. Coach Radcliffe in the 6U division. I'm sorry. Coach Radcliffe in the 6U division, who had a heck of a game with Rakes last week, who was the Seahawks there. It came down to a last play, and Coach Radcliffe had his guys ready to go. I will say this while I'm backing up for a minute with the 6U. If you want to see 6U pass attack at its best, you got to come watch the Little Dolphins. Coach Gerald Radcliffe has these kids, just launching rockets at that age. I've never seen a 6U team pass that much amongst themselves. And so sorry about the confusion there. It's getting late, and I'm tired. I haven't had an energy drink today. But anyhow, so we got them. And then there we have Coach Dan Karen's Dolphins there in the 8U division. Coach Dan Karen won Super Bowl last year. And And so, year before or last year, he has got that Super Bowl win under his belt, and so he's doing well. Then 8U, another team that I think the rankings are kind of deceptive there, is the 8U 49ers. Coach Jody Boblet has been an integral part of Roar Sports. He's been with us for he's been with us for several seasons. He is the reason why we have been so successful. A lot of stuff behind the scenes. Was a board member for a period of time, and he's just been an asset to the league. He has got a darn good little 8U team, and the other teams he has as well. But he's coaching 3 teams this season. But his 8U team, they're just don't sleep on them. I think he gets them wound up. They're going to make some noise for sure. And then we see rounding out the bottom of the 8U division, we have Coach Thornburg. Coach Nathan Thornburg always does a great job with the Titans. And then Coach Wilcox with the Vikings. And neither one of those guys have really been out of anything. They've just been a break here, a break there, a call here, a play there. Their 8U division is going to tighten up pretty good as we move along through there. And then we get over to the 10U division. Excuse me, the 10U division, and right now we've got I believe we've got is it 3-way? Yeah, we got a 3-way tie rolling up through there, and it's actually a 3-way tie for first place with the Texans, the 49ers, and the Patriots. Coach Barnhart is back to his old ways with his crew, Cooper Johnson and his son, Landry, Levi Moore, and some of the other players on his team. Parents, don't get mad and email me because I forgot your kid's name. I'm trying to keep all these kids straight. We got almost 400 kids in our league. I'm trying to remember them all. But Texans got a great league. And 10U, and I kind of put my finger on the 49ers earlier in the season. They're going to be making some noise towards, especially in the playoffs. The 49ers have a lot of speed. They have a lot of experience. They have a lot of those intangibles, those things you just can't teach. With Coach Jody's son Jansen, and then you've got a veteran receiver and Isaiah Dempsey. You've got Riker Paul. You've got, I'm trying to think of all the names, all the kids that are on that team. And so you just got a lot of good players. They were down 14-12 to the Buffalo Bills this past week and came back roaring in the second half. And it was they're rolling right along. And then, excuse me, right after them, you have the Patriots. And they're loaded as well. Coach Holden Cross is back at it. Won last season in 10U with his son Judah, who's always zipping around. They've got a solid quarterback, Carter Morrison. He's got some other targets. Great gadget player in Luke Perry, and just a lot of weapons there. And so they're going to make some noise. And then we get to the middle of the pack here. And got our youngest coach here, Bear Saab, coaching the Bills. Veteran coach Miguel Black with the Buccaneers. And, again, Nate Thornburg with the Titans. All 1-2, tied up, knotted up in that area. A little bit of a traffic jam there. And all 3 of those teams potentially have the opportunity to not be slept on as well because they're back in the they've got playmakers. It's just you'll see this a lot of times, and I tell my coaches this a lot. It's a puzzle piece. A lot of times these teams in rec sports and flag football, that's a puzzle. And the first 3-4 weeks, you're kind of just putting pieces together, trying to find your outline, if you will. When you build a puzzle like I do, you always put the straight edges around first, and then you go in the middle. But you're trying to work this puzzle out, and some of these teams will get better as the season goes in that puzzle to figure it out. And then rounding out the bottom there, again, 2 teams that have some talent. Coach Hal Britter is a veteran coach in our league with the Ravens, and with the Ravens this season, he's got of course his little girl Georgie, great little ball player. She's gives these boys all they want and then some. He's got Pierce and Gavin, which are both wonderful athletes as well. A lot of speed, a lot of very shifty, but they're still putting pieces like those puzzle pieces together, and then wrapping up newcomer head coach Coach Rubel, doing well. Chase Rubel is doing well. considering. He's got a great quarterback in Will Garrett, who can just got an absolute kid's got a cannon, absolute cannon. He's got some speed on the perimeter with a couple girls that are just lightning fast. Boston Critchfield's a blur going down the field when he gets moving, and then he's also got some other players and receivers that could make a difference and do really good. So, all in all, the 10U division is fixing to be a pretty good thing. And the other thing that I have to remind parents about, especially in rec sports and leagues, and um, you know, in the spring, there's a lot of vacations and so forth around Easter break and spring break and those sorts. So some of these teams haven't had their full roster, or maybe just have had their full roster for one game, and so they're still getting things together. And so you're going to see a lot of shifting. I think a lot of movement in the rankings as we go through the second half of our season. With that said, let's see here. What is going on here? Excuse me. With that said, we'll take a peek at our 12U division, and we've got the Texans, which are my guys. We're up there at first. We've had some really good games, really good teams in this 12U division. Cowboys, we'll talk about them in a minute. Gave us a good run that first game. Everybody's still learning their positions and getting stuff together. Second place team, Chris Card. He tough game. We played them, and of course last week we were down and able to take care of the last undefeated team, which was the Cowboys from Roar South, Coach Andrew McDonald, and that was a really good game as well. So. Texans, we're off to a good start. Coach Chris Card comes back to see us in the springtime, and has got the Bears rolling. The Bears are a pretty good team. They running I think he's the only coach consistently running a two-person blitz system on the two defensive rushers every play just about. And so that's given some teams. I know when we played them, we had to make some adjustments. We had to make some adjustments to that and to deal with that because he has a lot of speed coming from two different angles, and so you got to really be ready for it and be prepared for it. This past week, he was proved to be a little bit too much for the Chargers, who have an absolute stacked roster. But again, like I just mentioned, I think it was the first game Coach Miguel Black had all his players for one game, and so look for them better things. Probably one of the nicer surprises this season coming in there at third place is Coach Bo Ford. It's his first year coaching, and we love to see the young guys get in there. Bear, Saab, and 10U. My son's 15. I think Bo's only like 19. So it's nice seeing these young guys get in there and coach early and start. The kids sometimes respond even a little better to them because they're closer in age and they're younger, and us old guys, they just but anyway, Cowboys got them off to a good start, 2-1. They went down last week and this week, this week, and took care of business down at Roar South, and so they're off to a 2-1 start. The 49ers, Coach Chris Udy, I believe it's his second year, and doing really well with the 49ers. His son Brock has done just a wonderful job this year, just like it's always nice seeing kids develop, and from where Brock was 2, 3, 4 seasons ago and where he is now, rolling out, making weak side passes down the field, completions, and so forth. It's nice to see that development in there. And Coach Udy's got a pretty good team built up there. What a game the Steelers, Coach Kirby has. The first time they played, and just the way the schedule worked out, and everybody, look, I don't make the schedule. I throw it into Chat GPT because we've got so many variables right now with some divisions with odd numbers of teams and two locations in Weston and in Bridgeport. Some coaches are coaching multiple teams. There's a lot of variables going on, and so we let ChatGPT do it. And then in the midst of all that, the Steelers and the 49ers ended up playing each other within 3 weeks. There was a week in between off. First time, 49ers just handedly lowered the boom on them, and of course, Coach Kirby wasn't here. He had some players missing as well. Again, spring break stuff happens. coming back, starting to get their roster together. I remember it was a 1914 game with just right around 2 minutes to go this past Saturday, and 49ers put it in the air. And there was Bentley Keith for the Pittsburgh Steelers was sitting there waiting, licking his chops for a pick six, and they walk off pick six, and the Steelers avenged their earlier loss from earlier in the season, and so there's a little rivalry building between those two teams. If they meet in the playoffs, that ought to be fun. And then, of course, you can't forget Coach Miggs. He's got the Chargers, a very well put together roster. Again, just to put something together. He took a tough loss down at South for opening week. Had three of his key players missing. Sickness, a funeral, a track meet, and some other things going. 4 players, I'm sorry. 2 at a track meet, 1 at a funeral, and 1 was sick. And so he even had his daughter to step up from 10U to 12U to play there. And from what I understand, the Cowboys had a little hard time with her. But Chargers will get it going. We'll see what happens this weekend. Coach Miggs squares off against the Cowboys, the upstart 2-1 Cowboys. That'll be a good game this weekend as well. So the 12U division's coming right along. Should have some really good games coming up this weekend as well. And then last but not least, that leaves us with the 15U division. The 15U division this season, we did it a little different. So last year we had some issues with the unbalanced teams. And it wasn't on purpose. It was just the way the draft worked out, because previously any players that didn't come to the combine and weren't protected were just random draws, and the way the draw and everything worked out, it was just one team was overweight and overweighted. And so this year we decided to completely go back to the drawing board, and we did what's called a parity draft. And look it up if you don't know what that is, but it has really balanced the teams out really well. And the games have all been competitive, regardless of score of the games. They have been very competitive up to this point, and I don't look for that to change. At this age level, at this age division with the 15U, the kids just want to play. So after the first couple of practices, we took that away, and now they just play 2 games a week. They play a game on Thursday night instead of practice, and then Saturday. Once we get closer to the end of the season before the playoffs, that game will go away, and they'll get their practice back to tighten things up for the playoffs. But so far, so good in the 15U division. Everything's going well. Bear Sob's got the Browns in first place there. What a game this past week. They took on them and the Houston Texans. Both were undefeated. Browns ended up coming out on top by 2 points. So it was a very, very tight game as well. And then down in the let's see here, the Chargers there. Chargers first-year head coach Michael Pifley. He's doing a great job. He's got a great team. He's still figuring it out a little bit. Your first season in NFL flag as a player, especially as a coach. I remember the first year I coached, you're just watching things go by, and you're like, what is happening right now? Because it's so fast. Even if you've been a parent watching the game, it's just faster when it's on you and you're calling the plays and you're strategizing and you're leading the team. And I think Coach Pifley's doing a great job there. And of course, bringing up fourth place there was the 49ers again, Coach Jody Boblett. Coach Boblett's got a very young team, probably the youngest. So the Chargers probably have the tallest team, and Coach Jody Boblett probably has the youngest team. And but all the games have been competitive. The coach is doing a great job. The 15U is playing the 5v5 format, so it is on a little bit more narrow field. Same length as our full-size field, but it's a little bit more narrow. It's only 25 yards wide because it's 5-on-5. So it's a little bit different format, but more or less like pure NFL flag style format. So, but yeah, we're just rolling right along. Give you one more peek at those rankings there for Central. And hopefully now we've got some of the software glitches worked out, we can go live a little bit more often here, bring you guys up to speed on everything and what we're doing. But that said, let's see. With that said, I think that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight. I do want to just a reminder, make sure parents that you're arriving earlier, as you know, especially those at the bridge. There are multiple things going on. We're in baseball season right now, full swing, no pun intended. So we've got baseball tournaments at the bridge. We've got swimming meets. We've got AAU basketball, and a lot of cars got to fit in that parking lot. So pay attention. I try to update the Stack Team app in the update section as often as I can when I know there's going to be parking issues. I'll take a look at what's on the agenda for this week and send that out if need be. But just give yourself time to arrive on time and get your player in there. Again, just a friendly reminder, please have your players wearing the uniforms that they were issued. We paid for those free of charge to you, but we went and bought those, and some of them even have sponsors on them, which those sponsors need to be displayed there, as well as making sure you're volunteering for the games. The game's got to start on time. We got to keep the schedule moving. So, with that said, just want to thank you guys for joining us for our first edition of the Lions Den Live for the 2026 Spring NFL Flag Season. My name is Jason, president, founder of Roar Sports. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, and we'll see you next time on the field.